Hey, Omni heads, welcome to Omni Rewatch, the podcast where we break down Ben 10 episodes for you, the fans. My name is Ramen, and joining me as always, it's ShadeX, the king of green.
Hello.
Joining ShadeX is everyone's favorite history teacher, TheGreatBurg.
Howdy, everyone.
Yay, so, we just watched the episode The Krakken, but before we get into the synopsis, how you guys doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Okay, word.
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
How was y'all days?
I mean, we really gonna do that? We really gonna be formal here?
Well, it's not like I have to pull up the synopsis while we're talking.
I mean, see, this is like I know when to call it your bullshit, dude. It's like, wait a minute,
I gotta pull up the synopsis, homie.
I knew something was up. It's like, wait a minute, he's being too nicer than usual. What's his end game here?
I'm nice. I'm so nice.
No, you're not. Oh no, you're nice. No, you're nice. I believe you. It's just this is the first out of all recordings. This is actually the first time you've asked us how our day was, and I'm thinking, okay, what's going on here?
No,
like he's padding for time.
It's definitely padding for time. Okay.
Yeah, my day was good.
Okay, we are on episode 3, The Krakken. Ben has an encounter with a lake monster called the Krakken while swimming in a lake. A part of the summer vacation involves a fishing trip where Carter captained Shaw's boat for the trip. However, Shaw has seen the Krakken times before and is obsessed with catching it. With Gwen's help, Ben soon finds out the creature is upset because Jonah Melville, a poacher in the disguise of an animal lover, is stealing the creature's eggs. After Ben retrieves the eggs, the Kraken is shown cuddling her regain eggs in her nest. I still think that scene is unnecessary to show, but okay. Well, let me start with you, Bird. What did you think of the episode?
The episode was actually pretty decent. You know, it was actually pretty good. It's pretty standard. I would say it's a pretty standard episode. Let's say I love the design of the Kraken. I liked its message and whatnot. I thought it was pretty good right there.
Yeah, I actually really like the design of the Kraken. It was a she. Gotta be a she because it has eggs.
Eggs, that's right.
Okay.
No, it's I mean, unless it's part seahorse, it does males.
I think the Kraken has pronouns. Let's just call it they, just to make sure we don't fucking say anything wrong. The Kraken got pronouns, y'all.
Look, here's the thing. As a guy, I am willing to respect a lot of gender shit. But it's like animals do not require the human
fair
concept of gender. And again, with the exception of male seahorses. Not many male creatures many male creatures give birth. So the Kraken here was actually female.
Yeah, okay. Confirmed. That's why we have you on, Berg. In case we get fucked up. Yeah.
I'll be your scapegoat. I'll be your scapegoat in case some shit happens.
Thank you. Yeah, I honestly thought the Kraken was pretty good. The episode started out pretty chill. We had Gwen say a slur.
So basically, the fights.
Oh,
damn it, Shay! We're now great. Now we're gonna get fucked. Actually, are we even allowed to say that?
I feel like the show said it. If anything,
I mean I know the show said it, but
it was released a long time ago.
And well, a lot of shit was released a long time ago. Doesn't make it right then.
Yeah.
Let me phrase it. I don't know if we can say it right now, but yeah, it's like she literally just said. No, she just literally said it's like, oh, watch it, and and she just says the slur. I'm like, for little people. I'm like, that is really out of nowhere.
Don't worry. I'll bleep it out.
Yeah, bleep it.
I'll
We gotta
out.
bleep. We gotta bleep that. The thing is,
Bleep it with the Omnitrix sound. Bleep it with the Omnitrix sound.
that would be funny.
I could do that. Yeah. Obviously, the word is bad. This came out fucking a long time ago, but yeah. This episode had a lot of Gwen and Ben fighting. I almost forget how annoying it can be sometimes. It can be really annoying.
I liked it. It was a good. It was like a Boy Who Cried Wolf story because at the start, Forearms he like pretends to be Swamp Thing. Well, Swamp Thing and slash Man Thing. It's kind of interchangeable, but like a swamp monster, like Swamp Thing.
That was definitely Swamp Thing because this cartoon isn't like.
Yeah, because this is DC.
But here's the thing. Okay,
WB. So
here's the thing, though. Swamp Thing. There's a reason why there's a difference. So Swamp Thing is more of a hero. He's more of a nature kind of hero. Like he's basically an eco-friendly hero who basically protects the forest from a lot of bullshit. Man Thing is basically your typical swamp creature who's just like scary and shit. So that's the reason why it's like. So there is a difference between the two.
Okay, so they definitely okay. That is nice to know.
Thank you. Again,
that is interesting. That is interesting. But yeah, I get it because Swamp Thing is like with the Justice League and stuff.
Yes.
I almost forget about Swamp Thing as a character. Because he's not really that like I think like he was gonna didn't he get like a failed show or something like that never.
He got a show for DC Universe, but like
I forgot
people liked it. The issue was like they didn't get tax breaks and where they filmed it, so they're like, "Oh, let's cut our losses and cancel it," which is stupid. But like they couldn't afford to finish like another season. They couldn't afford another season.
Yeah. Yo. One thing I'm gonna point out. I have like a lot. Pretty sure most of us have a lot of notes, but yeah, we've watched about this because we're on the third episode, but the endings are very, very abrupt, and they are kind of getting like to the point where like there's times where I feel like they don't need to show a scene, an extra scene. They could just have it they could just have the RV just go by and then cut the episode there. But they add this extra scene that almost just feels very unnecessary. And it's. I'm not doing. I cannot.
I wouldn't say the scene was unnecessary. I thought it was wholesome. The issue was the fact again. It was just the ending because it was basically the Kraken just So basically, it was basically the Kraken just huddling her babies, her eggs, which was very cute and wholesome. It just the problem was it just kind of faded to black all of a sudden. So it really wasn't an issue if it wasn't necessary. It was just more. It was more of a pacing issue than it was a necessary one per se.
Yeah, it's definitely the pacing issue, and that's probably because of this is probably because of the restraints of the people who make the show. Like, it's Cartoon Network, so it's like 22 minutes, and with like commercials. So like the episode wasn't badly paced; everything flew together. But it's also like we were also dealing with like, and this is whether you're watching HBO Max or Netflix. And all shows do this, is where like you can tell when it's cutting to commercial and then it comes back, and I'm like, I know they don't want to have to re-edit all this, so but it can be really annoying.
I mean, again, you have to remember this. I don't really. I mean, it's a little annoying, but I think you also got to remember, like, you have to look at context because you have to remember a lot of this stuff was made during the time before streaming was a thing, when like I said, commercials, like I said, you would actually watch your TV and you would actually watch your TV on a certain time and just watch all the commercials there. So that's the reason why I'm not really angry about it, because I'm just like, that's just kind of how it was. And streaming kind
of ruined my mind because I'm just not used to watching much TV anymore.
Yeah, like these cartoons will always like watching them on stream. It's like a character's like, no. Oh,
Wait,
like they're like in a near death experience or something. Then it cuts to commercial, and you're like, oh, I want to see what's next.
it's like what
I'm
the
really,
butt, and then it cuts to commercial.
but on streaming, like they have it set where the scene repeats itself, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
I think that is fair, but again, you have to realize. I don't hate it because again, you have to realize something that is a pain in the fucking ass to go through all this shit to actually. Because like for example, I still watch a lot of anime that was still like weekly stuff. Like I still watch a lot like Naruto, One Piece, and Black Clover, and a lot of their stuff like went to like commercial and shit or recaps, that shit's annoying. But at the same time, I also got to remember, like, yeah, this came out at a time when this shit was going on, like, on regular TV and on a weekly basis.
It makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So again, that's the reason why I'm not as pissed about it as you guys.
I'm not pissed about it either.
I'm not.
Like,
I guess
Well,
more.
it's just like when you put it on streaming and like shows aren't really made with streaming in mind. Well, old shows, I think nowadays, newer shows, they know like the format of what to do.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring it up as again. I have that in my notes. That's all. That's the point of this podcast is to talk about it.
Fair enough. Now, that being said, so then we have like the weird captain guy who was constantly
Shaw, the Irish captain.
He's like, bro's like, he's just trying to be like bargain bin Captain Ahab. Fucking
yeah, he really is like. Isn't Jonah's last name Melville or something?
Yeah.
Oh my fucking god!
Yeah, it's like a Moby Dick kind of parody.
Yeah.
Like that's what they're going for, like a Moby Dick homage.
Yeah. By the way, for those who are not close enough, Herman Melville was the writer of Moby Dick, which if you kind of fell asleep in English class, it's basically about this sea captain who just goes insane trying to hunt this whale called Moby Dick. And now, granted, it's probably gonna censored and whatnot because of just how language goes, but the whale happens to be a white sperm whale, so take it, and who happens to be named Moby Dick. So take that as how you want to there.
Yes, Moby.
But basically, yes, it was basically Moby Dick from there.
Oh, interesting. The captain, the dude on the boat, just reminding me of like a Scooby-Doo villain. But like they did the whole like fake out thing where they were like, which they do this in movies, where like they almost intentionally tease that he might be the villain, but it turns out the nice guy was the villain. I like that little twist right there.
I'm gonna call him Ben's uncle because he kind of looks like Ben. I'm like, hey, Grandpa, is this one of your bastard children from a while back?
Is this one of your many alien love child?
It's like, is this what you see? Sure, Grandpa Max, this is what happens when you're not in your children's lives. Okay, they're gonna grow up to be fucking poachers. Okay.
Poaching is bad, people. We want to advocate that. Poaching is bad. Don't be like this fucker who steals fucking Kraken eggs.
Yeah, but speaking of which, I love the design of the Kraken here. It was so cool. It's like it had like very kaiju like kind of thing. I'm like that was just like awesome right there.
Right there. I liked it too. I like the what are those little tentacles coming out its mouth that it can use to like grab things. I like that. That was fucking sick, bro. I thought it was this. I thought it was me. I thought it was the same species as Ripjaws, but I'm like, nah, it's a Kraken. I'm like,
Kraken here. Speaking of which, a little Kraken facts for you. So the Krakens actually originate from like rather Nordic mythology. They were late Nordic mythology. They don't really have much to do with like they were associated with giant cephalopods who would just take. Like I'm gonna show some pictures in the podcast chat real quick. Who actually would take down shit like unfortunate sailors down with them down to the ocean. Like they have a more octopus like they have a more like octopus look to them and whatnot.
Yeah, the Kraken,
so
the Kraken in
cool.
this episode, the Kraken in this episode felt more like a Loch Ness monster than.
Yeah, which is another full facts I can get there, but I just choose not to because I'm a little lazy and plus.
I really like the images you put in here. They fucking look cool.
Now that being said, people think that the real life Kraken is actually based off the giant squid, which right here, this little fucker. Right. Which actually, I know this looks nothing, but dude, this thing is actually big to the point where, again, to go back to the whale analogy thing, they are natural enemies. They actually happen to be natural enemies of the whale.
Wow. And the guy whose name is Melvin.
So basically,
God, it fits.
Yeah, wait, Jonah Melville, Jonah.
Oh my fucking God. Okay, that's another one as well. Okay, again, another fact there. So Jonah, if you know anything about the Bible, basically the guy who got eaten by a whale and he got spit out. So basically, God damn it, Shade, you're actually like you're I can't believe I did not notice this. You actually brought this.
Shade actually had better notes than I did. I'm gonna say that straight up. He actually remembered the name. A
lot
of this is in my mind. I didn't write it down.
No, he just noticed. Like, wait a minute, Jonah,
Shade.
The Bible story, Melville.
I had trouble pronouncing his name in the fucking synopsis when I was reading it.
By the way, for those who don't know, if you know Jonah, is probably from that VeggieTales movie from a while back. In the
oh my God,
dude, I'm just wow. That is smart. I'll give him that. Like I did not notice that. You had to bring that shit up. Where I'm like, oh my God, that makes sense now.
Okay, the writers definitely dipped their toes into some Moby Dick already in this episode. Straight up.
Yeah, because Captain Shaw's like, I'm going after this Kraken. I'm going after it. I don't care if it's good. I'm going after it.
Like, I gotta get that. It's like, I could have swore but yeah. Also, the aliens here. So speaking of, we gotta talk about the aliens that were used in this episode.
Okay, the aliens that were used in this episode were Forearms, Accelerate, Stinkfly, and
Ripjaws.
Which so at first, Ripjaws' transformation is teased like a bit, and then it comes at the end. But then, because I want to count mistransformations because I think it's fun, there was only one mistransformation in this episode, and
that was Accelerate.
That was Accelerate, and the watch timed out. For a lot at probably the worst possible times. That honestly, if Ben wasn't very cautious, he could have died most of those times.
Actually, the sheer fact that Ben survived a shit ton of his because half the time we've seen is that he survived by falling. Like he falls a lot. And I'm like, the fact that you didn't if it wasn't for certain convenient things like him falling when he was Forearms, then turning back to Ben at the last minute, or him go he comes as Stinkfly and he transforms only to be caught by some kind of soft thing. I'm like, dude, you are just like, the fact that you got lucky shows a lot, okay?
He is super fucking lucky, dude. When he turned to Stinkfly and he landed on the awning, I think the other guy was with him, and I'm like, that guy is dead. I'm like, Ben is the only one who landed on that awning, bro. Because that guy bounced right off. Ben landed on that awning.
No, he's like on it. Oh, he dead. He did.
He's dead. Ben had a body count. Oh my God.
Dude, I'm just saying, bro. That is like holy shit. The fact that happened.
I realize that when they do like the last transformation for the final fight scenes, it looks like the watch doesn't time out at all. It almost seems like he has the right amount of time.
It's called plot convenience.
Yeah, it is definitely. You know what? Fair. It is probably plot convenience.
It's like, you know what? The watch is like, we got. And I'll just say, Ripjaws was actually pretty cool in this fight. Like Ramen here, he's on the hate on Ripjaws, but me, I'm just like, you know what? He's cool here. He doesn't seem that.
I love Ripjaws. I fucking and honestly, his first appearance in this episode was fucking sick. Like, I like his
Yeah.
voice. It's pretty fucking awesome.
I really like the payoff with Ripjaws at the end because it's teased and then he saves the day as Ripjaws. That was
I like, yeah, that was like a really good fight. I almost because again, I haven't watched the show in a while. I almost forget how cool Ripjaws is because I've been like exposed to like, because I'm actually used to Omniverse Ripjaws because it has like, you know, a better like system of like a better upgrade, but like, no, Ripjaws is really cool. Again, I would say like it does seem like they did make this episode to also like pay homage to probably like Moby Dick, but also they probably wanted to introduce the Ripjaws in sort of a good way, and this episode fit it. Yeah. I also did kind of notice, this is like a small tangent, but that he already knew all the aliens. So I'm assuming at this point he already knows all the aliens he has in the watch. So Grandpa Max is training him because he already knows all their name. He already names all of them. And I noticed how he Accelerate, Stinkfly. He already named him Ripjaws. So I guess he already knows all the aliens by heart. So. Or maybe fucking somehow the watch picked a name, but like Grandpa Max is probably training him a lot.
Probably is.
The goat.
The goat indeed.
Oh yeah, I thought Grandpa Max was gonna throw hands in this episode.
Yo.
When he's like talking to one of those poachers, and he's like, "We could do this the easy way or the hard way."
And they just fucking go. It's like they just like. No, here's the thing. Grandpa Max, they're showing him more that he actually knows how to kick ass, which probably I don't get why he didn't believe Ben at first when he was attacked by the Kraken. It's like, Grandpa, you've seen this shit before. Why do you not believe Ben?
Yeah, that was very out of character for him because you've encountered a lot more in the past 2 episodes that we watched, and you believe that, but you don't believe there's a Kraken. Dude, you're a plumber. You've seen shit. So probably wanted to do a boy cry wolf thing like Shade said. But again, Grandpa Max should be the one believing him. I'm okay with Gwen not believing him. But
Gwen makes sense.
Oh yeah, another thing I have in the notes, those giant Kraken eggs looked weird. I remember, Berg, you were saying like that they might taste good if.
Dude, I'm just saying, don't knock shit till you try it, man. I will cook the shit out of that.
Homie was having a fucking cookie with Sanji moment with the eggs. He's like, I think I can make that shit tasty. Berg, I would love to try some Kraken eggs from you.
Ramen, I can cook them good ass eggs.
You do. My man's cooking is fucking bomb. Let's see. Ripjaws had eggs in his mouth. Had eggs in his mouth, and like as you said, when we were watching the episode, guess the mother was protecting the eggs. Probably, Ripjaws should have not had those eggs in his mouth.
Definitely. Definitely. I mean, to be fair, he was still trying to save it, and Ben's like a kid, so he didn't quite understand how animals kind of work that way.
I mean, at least he's not the fucking poacher who had that fucking weird ass mech. I guess it was a stupid mech suit.
Actually, that's a good question. Where the fuck did a poacher like that get the fucking mech suit?
Just the fuck, yeah. You can't tell me that poachers make that much fucking money.
They actually do, believe it or not. It's like There's a reason. This is kind of a really fucked up fact, but there's a reason why poachers will do what they do. Like there's people out there who will pay an immense amount of money for rare animal shit. And I mean part animal shit, but I mean like actual animal features, whether it be an elephant's tusk, a rhino's core, a tiger's skin. Like there is a lot of things that they will pay for. So they will hunt these poor animals just for the money. It is unfortunately a lucrative business.
Oh man, considering the shit this fucking poacher. His name is Melvin. Considering what Melvin fucking...
No. Melvin's the captain. I don't remember what the poacher's name was.
I'm gonna call him Mr. Poacher. Considering what Mr. Poacher fucking did to, he definitely could afford a mech suit. That's just the weirdest scuba mech suit I've ever seen. That was a tangent. Probably the first episode. Gwen uses a computer. I think she actually researches who she is, who the dude is. But again, shouldn't she done that from the very fucking start? Like, it almost does seem like she could have done that from the start. But I guess she was like fighting with Ben a lot, you know. But
okay, the poacher's name is Jonah, and the captain that's obsessed is Captain Shaw.
Okay, so that's
Jonah
okay. I got the names confused. Okay, so it's Captain Shaw, and the guy's name is Mel. Is her? Fuck it. You know, I agree with Ramen. I'm just calling him Mr. Poacher. I really don't give a fuck.
Mr. Poacher, we landed on that. Okay, so before we end it here, let's talk about which alien was the strongest in this episode.
Ripjaws.
Ripjaws.
Ripjaws. Yeah.
Ripjaws. I'm gonna have to say Stinkfly and Ripjaws.
Fair enough. Oh, yeah, that's right. That reminds me. Since you mentioned strongest, there was like 4 other aliens. It was like Forearms actually. Yeah, no, Forearms actually appeared in the first beginning of the show actually.
Yeah.
The first couple minutes. The first couple. I know not the strongest, but it's like I remember him saying like you said, like we mentioned 3 aliens being like, no, there was 4 aliens.
No, I mentioned the 4 aliens at the start.
Oh, yeah. I did. Okay, I must be misremembering because I remember you saying Accelerate, Ripjaws, and Stinkfly. Probably missed the.
Yeah, probably missed the 4. Accelerate. Okay, Accelerate. We have Accelerate, Forearms, Stinkfly, and Ripjaws. And I say again, Ripjaws. I say Ripjaws, Accelerate, and Stinkfly because they had a lot of most of the action scenes. I can't really count Forearms in this episode because
That's fair.
Yeah. But other than that, very good episode. Join us next week for when we go over episode 4, Permanent Retirement. Yes.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Let's go.
My name is Ramen. That's ShadeX. That's TheGreatBurg. And this has been Omni Rewatch. You stay safe, Omni Heads.